Do you remember early in our career where we were flat broke? We'd wake up at like midnight, at 2 in the morning, worried about how we're going to pay bills, gas, groceries. And we were starting a business too. So, how are we going to make payroll? Do you remember those days?
I do. I remember buying toilet paper for a building when we didn't have any at our house.
I totally remember exactly what that was like. It was trying to make sure that everybody else got taken care of before us, making sure that customer was taken care of, our employees had their paychecks, our kids had what they needed, and then maybe if there's something left over, we'd take care of ourselves.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was when we first started. I remember those sleepless nights and worrying about what we were going to do. Um, it's funny though, because most of our worries were how we were going to take care of our people.
Yeah. And you know what? That's still our worries. Like financially, we're pretty set. Honestly, 17 years in business, we've done amazing. We've gone from being homeless to having this multi-million-dollar empire, multiple different businesses, several different income streams. But we've got two startups right now. And so our stress isn't necessarily if we have money, but to make sure that our employees have a job, that they have a steady paycheck coming in, that we have enough customers coming in to continue to feed that machine, because we could fold any one of these companies and it wouldn't really hurt us. We've pretty much set ourselves up pretty well, but I still feel that stress, just like it was day one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would hurt us to the point of like, oh, we failed. And we wouldn't be able to accomplish the big dreams, like the audacious goals, right? Like, mark my words, one day there will be a Q island. Sergeant Q will own an island. It might not be very big, it might just be a rock, but those are our audacious goals, right?
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the Mental Health Janitors, where we help you clean up the mess in your head. I'm your host, Sergeant Q, and with me today, my lovely wife, Holly.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so we're going to talk about financial hardship and what that looks like in America. And I remember those times. It was so difficult early starting out. We've done really well. We've been really smart with our investments, and we've been really good at building business. So we have some security there. But there were nights where I would be praying all night that I'd have enough money in my bank account the next morning to be able to make payroll. And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I would pray about it. And then sure enough, Monday morning, there'd be a
Yeah.
check sitting there. And it was funny because Carrie's our operations manager. And early on when he was working with us, he's not a Christian. And so he didn't really know how to work with us. He said, "Hey, we don't have money to make payroll on Monday. What are we going to do?" I'd be like, "I'm just going to pray about it."
Okay.
And I would. And that happened so many times that Carrie got to the point where he would just call me and be like, "Hey, I need you to do that prayer thing again," because it worked. And it did. It really did. And so we've learned to put our faith in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people, they don't know the Lord. And even if you do, it's still really hard stepping out in faith. In fact, over 70% of people in America right now struggle with financial hardship because inflation the last 4 years under Biden really set us back. Inflation went through the roof. Our trade deals were terrible. And now, with Trump coming in, being such a controversial figure, it hasn't made things much better. And so everybody is dealing with this financial hardship, which comes anxiety and then depression. And this is what people are dealing with right
You're absolutely right. Okay, let's break this wide open. Financial anxiety is not just an emotion. It's become a national epidemic for people. 3 out of 4 Americans are struggling with this right now.
Yeah, it's in every demographic too. So it's even those who have done financially well in the past, that's not preventing them from feeling this squeeze. We feel it as well when it comes to getting supplies, hiring new people, growing and expanding into new areas. I look at it and think, can I afford to do this? Can I afford to do this startup right now? Or should I just wait a couple years when interest rates are lower, when the job market is better, when there's a little bit more financial stability? So those are even things that I think about on a bigger level. But every demographic is dealing with this exact same thing.
But we're not just talking about tight budgets here. We're talking about folks having full on panic attacks, developing anxiety that they've never had before, because of what's going on with their bank accounts. I'm not trying to sound like the old folks from when I was a kid, but a dollar doesn't go as far as it used to, you know? It's I'm like, "Oh, I got $100 in my wallet." That used to be big money. Now you're lucky to get a bag, maybe 2 of groceries.
And it's funny because everybody thinks, "Oh, we need to raise the minimum wage to bring everybody up so the cost of living is less for them, it's easier for them because 'cause they're making more money." But when you do that, you cause inflation, and we did that so many times over the last several years that it's caused hyperinflation,
Mhm.
where your dollar doesn't go as far anymore. Because, yeah, people are making more money, but that means everything costs more because really you're just increasing the cost of labor. And to get food onto your shelf, that goes through many hands, from the workers in the fields to those packaging it, to those in the factories, shipping those out, the truck drivers getting there, the guys offloading them, the guys putting them on the shelves, the guys checking the registers to make sure that the can actually has the right price on it and that goes into the register machine, to the person checking out your groceries. When all of those wages go up, it makes the cost of that can of beans so much more. And everybody thinks we just need to keep raising the minimum wage, raising the minimum wage. But when you do that, you end up where we are right now with this hyperinflated state where everything costs so much. And so I know that there are a lot of people who will discuss all these different solutions, but that's not what we're here for today.
Correct.
We're here to talk about how does this impact your mental health and what can you do to fix it?
Well, one of the things that I think I would suggest to the person that's out there that's saying, "Uh, I've gotta get a side hustle," right? Because that's what most of us think when we have to start pinching pennies and money gets tight. We're like, "What can I do? I gotta get a side hustle." Do it. We started our first company in 2008 during an economic downfall. Everything was expensive. The market bubble, the housing bubble had burst, and we started because in those times, all of the companies that were top heavy, that were eating good, they couldn't keep up because they had to cut cost for people to compete. We were coming in and we're like, "We got no overhead. We'll sweep our car. We'll forgo that paycheck." Um, Now's the time to start a business. Do it. Do the hard thing like we've talked about before. Do the scary thing. Like, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, this hits men and women totally different because women think more about, their family and how am I going to feed the kids and how am I going to take care of this and pay this bill. And men think about that too, but we think about it totally different because for us, we're the provider. We're supposed to, have the job, pay for the things. And so it really hits us more on a pride issue of like, I'm not good enough because I can't provide the things I need for my family. So men and women actually deal with this in two completely different ways. And so I want to address that straight up because it's not just a broad brush. It's really the genders. It's the way that your brain is wired that causes you to think differently and the stress will hit you a lot differently as well.
Social media is not helping that either, right? You've got all this success porn, all of the influencers out there that are like, "Look at my life," as they're standing in front of a Bugatti
That they
that
rented for $900
or they
a
didn't even
day.
rent. They see it on the side of the street. They're like, "Let me take a picture." And it's so funny because I see that in your, like, one extravagant purchase that you've ever made in your entire life, buying your car. Um, I've seen people pose with your car and take a picture, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "That's totally on their Instagram of, 'Look at me rolling,'" and that just makes it so much harder for all the rest of us that are thinking, "Gosh, look at how well they're doing. Look at
Right.
how easy it is for them." And it just makes us feel even worse about ourselves.
Yeah, and the reality is this hits 70% of people in America are feeling this, but only 14% of people are actually getting mental health help. Even though 70% are getting hit with this, only 14% are actually asking for help and trying to build their mental resilience, which is what I talk about
So
every single episode.
okay, and it's not like people are just being irresponsible.
Well, some of them are being irresponsible though. And those are the ones you see the most, which paints everybody else in a bad light who is struggling because they're the ones who are going to be posting on Facebook or Instagram. They took my food stamps away and now I can't go on my Disney vacation because I can't afford food. That stuff just makes people completely numb to the real struggle that everybody else is dealing with. So we want to look at this equally. There are people being irresponsible, and that makes us jaded. But the majority of people are not being irresponsible. They're really struggling, and they're not getting help with their mental health.
Yeah, the silent majority of us out there that are like, "I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep grinding," because the vocal victim camp over there is doing what they do. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, right? Because it's a pride issue a lot of times is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, like I said, about men who they don't really discuss these things. If they're struggling financially, they don't want anybody to know about it. They're not going to share that, and it's going to compound those issues. I do the exact opposite. If I'm struggling in business or I'm struggling with money, I'm going to ask some questions like, hey, I am losing money on this business deal. Who do I know that can help me right the ship? And I'll go ask questions. I'll go on forums. I will ask because I want that. No, I don't want to learn the hard way. I want somebody who already learned the hard way and say, yeah, man, do X, Y, and Z. And then I can just do that and forego all of that hardship of that struggle. I still have to do the hardship of doing the things to make it work, but I don't have to, I can forego the struggle of trying and failing, trying and failing, trying and failing. If somebody already knows the way, if somebody already has the answer and has gone before you and had success, talk to them, pay them some money, buy them some coffee, take their course, learn how to do those things so you don't have to learn the hard way. Then you just have to go through the struggle of building it, but you got a roadmap and it makes it a heck of a lot easier. It's almost like I've said that before.
Once or twice, I think, once or twice. If you're listening to this right now and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, that is me. He's reading my mail. This is exactly what I'm going through." And you feel like you're in the fight of your life, you're not alone. Social media and, the influencers and everything that's being put out there might make you feel like you're alone, but you're absolutely not alone. And there are tools to help you cope with your mental health.
Yeah, and we give you guys a lot of those tools here. And I have 6 different courses that people can go through to learn how to take control of their mental health journey, and about a dozen other little mini courses that I've produced and put out, and that's a startup for us right now. And so we've only been building that out. I've been teaching it for a decade to veterans for free, but this is the first time we've made it available to civilians, and that's this year. But it is so hard to get people like you convinced that they need to take control of their mental health journey. Even though people see me, they see me at church, they see me around town, they see me speaking on stage, and they want what I have, the success, they want the travel, they want the lifestyle that they think that I have, but they're not willing to do the hard work that it takes to actually get there. I've made it as easy as I can with the courses that I build, and talks that I give, and I'll have 20 people sign up, and I'll have 2 people show up. It blows me away. It's about 10% every single time of people who actually want to dedicate themselves to self-development and grow and learn and get on the other side of that stress train that is just hammering so many people right now.
I think it's hilarious. Y'all, I make most of his social media reels, and what you don't see is the entire video, right? I'm just catching the little glimpse of him getting on the plane, sitting in that first class seat with his real silverware. What y'all didn't see is the delayed flight, the sleepless night, the upset stomachs because now we have to travel and you got to speak, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that contributes to the lifestyle that people think that they want.
And that free upgraded first class seat was because I've flown coach so many times that I finally had enough points or airline miles or however they do it to get me into that first class seat.
Right. Like Aaron was saying, we give you guys so many tools here, and one of them is actually going to be a bucket reset. So, this bucket budget reset, we're going to give you some ideas on how to actually set a budget because a lot of us were never taught that.
And you just buy whatever you want. And there's a difference between what you want and what you need. And this is a huge problem in America. And Holly's laughing because she deals with this all the time. I'm always on her. But it's what you need versus what you want. And if you have extra money and you can spend it on things, go ahead, buy whatever you want. But if you're struggling to make ends meet, maybe there's some things you don't need. Like make your own coffee at home. I make my own coffee at home. I don't go and spend $9 on a Starbucks coffee every morning. I don't eat out at lunch. I buy my own food, make my own lunch, make my own coffee. I do all of those things and I don't have to spend all that extra money eating out. When I travel, I don't have much of a choice. But when I'm at home, I eat at home or make my own coffee at home way more often than I go out.
Okay, I want to address two things. One, I feel personally attacked with, that I don't there's a difference between wants and needs. Let's address that first, shall we? The first thing is yes, there's a huge difference between want and need. And this is going to shock some people. Internet at home for most Americans is a want. There, I said it. It's a want. It's not a need. There is free internet at every cafe. Remember internet cafes? They were
Every library,
yes.
every business really has
Business
one.
has one. Go sit outside of Home Depot. There's Wi-Fi.
Streaming.
Streaming services.
How many streaming services do you guys have?
Huh?
Dozens, I'm sure. How many subscriptions do you have on your phone for apps that you don't even use anymore? Like when it comes down to it, I think, and free plug for these guys, Rocket Money does a great job helping you find out all your subscriptions, canceling a bunch of them. They make it really easy for you. And so I suggest getting that or something similar to decide what are your wants and what are your needs. Do you need Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and all those other ones? Do you need all my favorite show is on there? Spend that time that you would be binge watching that doggone show and read a book, invest in yourself, learn how to become an author, learn how to produce videos, learn a new skill, develop yourself instead of being just a consumer and consuming everything. Start to produce something in your off time instead of just being a consumer.
Which is interesting because if you eliminate a lot of these wants and start, what you're talking about, actually investing in yourself, which is a need. It is absolutely a need. You need to invest in yourself so that you progress. You're going to end up getting to a point in your life where you can achieve the lifestyle that you wanted in the first place.
That's right. And if you're not good with your money right now, you're not going to be good when you're a millionaire. You're just not. You have to learn how to take control of your money now. So when you have more of it, you'll be a better steward of it. Here's a few things that you guys can do right now. Super simple. Create a budget and separate wants and needs. And then look at those subscriptions. You're going to have dozens of these subscriptions. Look at them and just eliminate half. I'm not saying all of them, just straight down the middle, half of these things that you can eliminate for the next 6 months. I'm not saying forever, just 6 months. Do you need Amazon and Hulu? Cut one of them off. Cut one of those off. Take all that money that you're saving. So if it's $100 a month that you're saving in subscriptions, take 50 of it and pay down a bill. And the other 50% goes into a savings. Those are 3 super simple things that you can do right now. But I'm guessing the majority of you won't do it because you don't want to give up what you have right now for what you want later. It's that delayed gratification because you want what you want right now. Ooh, I see that pair of shoes, I'm going to buy it. Oh, I want to binge watch, I'm going to buy it. Oh, I want this, I'm going to buy it. Instead of saying, you know what, I do want that, and I'm going to save up. That thing's $100, so I'm going to put $20 away every week for the next 5 weeks, and then I'm going to buy that thing. But here's what it's going to happen. When it comes to those 5 weeks being over and you're going to look at that $100, you're going to say, I don't really want that thing anymore. I'm going to put that money somewhere else. And you and I did this early on in our Amazon years. We were just buying stuff on Amazon because it was so easy. And so this is what we did. I said, look, you can shop and you have fun shopping on there. Put it in a cart. Don't buy it. Wait 24 hours and then go back through that cart. And I can't tell you how many times we just empty that whole cart because it was just an impulse buy.
You know what? Let's talk about Amazon for a second, because I know that there are going to be dozens and dozens of women who watch this that are going to totally feel my pain. We were out to dinner. I think we went to a teriyaki restaurant. We were splurging. And you were like, babe, let me see your Amazon history. I lost my mind. You want to go through my text history? You want to go through my search history? You want to go through anything? Be my guest. You wanted to see my Amazon purchase history. And I don't know if you all know this or not, you can't delete things. You cannot go in and delete that you bought something and manipulate the system. I got physically ill. I don't know if you remember this, but for me, this was a very traumatic experience. This was like one of our absolutely worst date nights ever. I got sick. I went to the bathroom. I did not feel good. And then I had to show it to you. And you were like, you spent how much on a belt? I'm like, oh, it was pretty and I wanted it. And in that moment, I was like, wow, I I felt like what somebody who just got cheating, like just got caught cheating felt like, because that's our money. We have to be responsible. And I was cheating on you by buying all of these things and not even telling you. Right. And so I was like, we got to do something different. And that's when you came up with, by asking me questions, well, why do you shop so much? What's the joy? Is it showing up at the house? I'm like, no, half the time I don't even know what's in the package. You used to ask me all the time, what did you order? I don't know. So clearly I wasn't attached to the item. It was about adding to cart. That's where we narrowed
With
it
the
down.
dopamine hit,
I got the dopamine hit, just like with the slot machines.
because you accomplished something
Right.
by putting it in the
By putting it in the cart. And now that's exactly what we do. I'll be up when I'm not supposed to, scrolling on my phone, and I'll be like, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. And then by the time I actually have to buy something from Amazon, I'm like, oh, I have this crap in my cart. So that's the best thing that you can do. That you're absolutely right there for people. Anybody who has a shopping addiction or something like that, add it to your cart. Go for it. Add it to your cart. And then leave. Leave the page.
So those are two really simple things you guys could do. Number one, start a budget, cut your subscriptions in half. Just look at all your subscriptions and say 50% of this, I am deleting today.
Mhm.
And just make that your goal. You're going to delete 50% of those. And you're going to take that money that you're saving, and half goes to pay off a bill, and then half goes into a savings account. Because you need to do two things. Number one, you have to have an emergency fund.
Yep.
So if a tire goes out or a window breaks, you don't have to put it on a credit card. You are your own bank, and you have a savings where you can take from and pay for that thing.
Mhm.
The second thing is you start paying off these bills, these credit cards, these reoccurring charges that you have when you were not responsible with the money. And so Dave Ramsey calls it the debt snowball. You can Google this thing. It's super easy. I'm not going to explain it. You can look it up, even though I know the majority of you won't. But there are a few of you who will look it up and who will do this. And that's who I'm talking. Take action. Put these things in place. Now, there's some cool free apps you can use as well, like Every Dollar or Mint or Rocket Money, that will help you start to manage and take control of your finances. Because if you can control your financial health, your mental health will immediately get better. If you're not constantly stressing about money and your financial health, your mental health temperature is going to drop as well. You're going to reduce the cognitive load. It's going to make it a lot easier to manage those other things that come into your life.
We're going to go ahead and give you guys a tool. This is something that we're going to start implementing. We're going to have a downloadable budget form that's going to get posted down in the comments after this airs, so that you guys can just click on it, download it. You might have to put in your email address so that we can send it to you, but we won't spam you, I promise.
And if you really want to supercharge this thing, get an accountability buddy. It can be your spouse, it can be your friend, family member. Just say, hey, these are my financial goals. This is what I'm doing. And I just want you to call me once a week and ask me to report this to you. Now, I know some of you guys are like, oh, I'm an adult. I don't need that. Well, I would disagree, because if you didn't need it, then you would be financially set. And if you're financially set and you don't have these problems, amen. Help somebody else.
Yeah.
But my guess is you're not. And so maybe, just maybe, you should listen to somebody who's done this and been through it and had some success. That way you don't have to go through that pain of trial and error and failure. You can just get the plan, execute on it, and then go through the struggle of building that out and having success. We will cut your learning curve by 50%, at least 50%, if you just listen to what we say and do it. This doesn't cost you anything. I'm not charging you. I'm giving you this stuff for free. You just have to use it. But I know, statistically, if I give them something for free, how many do you think will actually accomplish it?
I feel like you're so jaded.
I know the numbers. 9%. 9% of the people listening, I give them a free resource, 9% are going to use it. If I charge you guys $500 for this, then there's a 60% chance they're going to complete it. If I charge them $1,000, then it's a 90% chance they're going to complete it. Now, far less people are actually going to invest, but the percentage goes up exponentially because those are people who bought in, who are ready to make a change, who are ready to invest. So really what you're seeing is that 9% that would have completed it are going to be the ones who actually pay that money to go do it. And so they're going to have more success. That's really what you're seeing. But those are the numbers. I'm jaded because I know the numbers. I know the majority of people listening to this are never going to take action on it. And that's fine. That's fine. But there's 9% of you, almost 10, that will. And those are the ones that I speak to every single day. If I was jaded, I would just quit and I wouldn't do this anymore because 9% is not a good ROI.
Right. Not in this industry anyway. Okay. So another thing that you guys can do is unplug. Take a mental health day. You just had to do this. You were kind of forced to by missing your flight on your way back from Oklahoma. You were forced to take an unplugged mental health
You
day.
see it like it was my fault. I didn't miss my flight. My flight was delayed to the point where I would have never got my connector. So I didn't miss my flight. The airlines screwed up and I couldn't get on my flight.
Okay. Let me rephrase.
Yes, rephrase this.
The airline forced you to take an unscheduled mental health day.
Yes.
Yeah. So what you ended up doing, I got you a nice little hotel right next to the airport. You didn't have to worry about anything. I made sure you got early check-in. Your flights were scheduled for the next day. Right. I took care of you. So you got to do what? You got to unplug. You played video games, which does not happen. You got to go and experience a couple restaurants.
I got to walk around downtown Tulsa, which there's not much going on in the town, but it was still cool to just get out and walk and not have an agenda. I had nothing to do. And there was really nothing I could do. I didn't have anything scheduled, nothing going on. I couldn't do anything other than unplug. And so that's what I did. I played some video games. I went out and got some food. I walked around. I probably spent 4 or 5 hours just walking around, shooting videos and taking photos, some really cool scenery there. So you guys will see some of this on my TikTok and on my Instagram and Facebook because we'll make some reels and you'll get to see snippets of this 4-hour day of me just walking around and getting these little 10-second clips. You guys will see some of that. But yeah, I had to take that mental health day. I had to unplug, which was actually really nice. It would have been nicer if you were there. It would have been fun to do that with you, but it was still nice to not have an agenda.
So take a mental health day, be intentional, unplug. It'll help regulate your stress.
Now, I know we say this all the time. I've done tons of therapy. You've done tons of therapy. Go see a therapist. And when you're there, you can talk about this financial hardship that you're going through, how finances are really weighing heavy on your mental health. And you know what they're going to tell you? Start a budget, create a savings plan, pay off debt, all these things that we just told you, but still go because you'll hear it from somebody else and maybe they'll be able to resonate with you better than we can.
Do you remember, and this part really hits home for me, in the very beginning, like our early years together, you were always very concerned about money because for your brain, without money, you were homeless again. That was always like worst case scenario, always hit first. And so what we ended up doing is putting us in a situation to where it removed the possibility of being homeless again. That ended up becoming one of our goals is, we paid off debt. We paid cash for a house.
Yeah.
So we own a house free and clear. It's a tiny house, but it's a house, right? And so we were able to help your mental health by removing the possibility of being homeless again because of poor financial decisions or because of whatever. And so that took a lot of work.
Took years to get to that.
Years to get to that point. And then, it's still taken years to maintain it, right? Because we have, this asset that we choose not to touch because that removes either one of us ever having to be homeless again. And having that safety net for both of us has allowed us to progress in our mental health journey. So for anybody out there that is struggling with, I'm getting into homeless again or my mental health, if you do these things that we're telling you to do, start a savings plan, get your debt paid off, and you can do it. There is so many hours in a day. You can pick up a side hustle, go Uber Eats, and every dime from Uber Eats.
It works. Great.
Yes. Every dime goes into a savings account, pays off a debt, right? It can be done if you want to do it.
You have to want those long-term goals more than you want the short-term satisfaction. It's that delayed gratification that we were talking about. So there's really two ways to build mental resiliency around this. Number one is to do the hard things, just like you were talking about, where you have to do those hard things, make those sacrifices, create those budgets, save that money, pay off that debt. That grows your ACC, your anterior cingulate cortex, because now you're doing the hard things and you're taking time to be intentional about it. You're going to build your ACC, which builds resiliency. There's another way you can build it, through volunteering.
Okay.
Volunteering gives you dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, 4 main chemicals you need to have a healthy brain. That will also build up your mental resilience. So you can actually do both, and you will supercharge your brain. That's what I did. That's how I went from being homeless, living in my car, to where we are now. Multi-million-dollar CEO. Paid off house, a penthouse in Las Vegas. The penthouse in Las Vegas is just a business, you guys, but I still own it. Okay. But it's a business. We rent it out. We make money on it. We don't live there, but it's still really cool. We're able to do that because we started small with what we had. We didn't start out like Donald Trump, getting a small $1 million loan from our father. Okay. We start out with 0 and built it up to where we are now. So if we can do it, you guys can do it. We have high school educations. We have no special skills. We are just very diligent. We have a very big anterior cingulate cortex because we seek out the hard things to do, and then we do them and we do them and we do them and we do them until we get breakthrough. We don't quit. And so those two things are what you can do as well. They don't cost you any money. They are free to do. It's free to save money. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free to go volunteer. It doesn't cost you anything. These are free things that you can do right now to build your mental resilience, to take control of your mental and your financial health. But you have to execute on these things. So you don't have to have it all together. You just have to start. Just pick one thing. We give you 2 really good things that you guys can do. Pick one of those and start working at it. Start slow, be consistent, and this is going to help you have financial freedom and improve your mental health.
So leave us a review, join our cleanup crew on Facebook. And if you want to support Q missions or do something else to help with your mental health, we're here to point you in the right direction.
So here on the Mental Health Janitors, we like to do 3 things. We want to educate, empower, and encourage you on your mental health journey. And so a good way you guys can do that is you can check out thisistheway.com. Get into one of our classes that teach you how to take control of your mental health through small daily tasks. This absolutely changed my life. It changed yours, and it changed thousands of veterans' lives. I mean, this is why I received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. This is why I got honored to the Salute to Service Award with the Seattle Seahawks. And I've won dozens of other awards from the Department of Veterans Affairs. It's because I taught veterans how to do this very thing, the same thing that you can learn and put into play right now today.
More importantly, this is why we get dozens of messages from people who have come across your teachings and have utilized it or read your book and have utilized it and have changed their life.
So for the Mental Health Janitors, I'm Sgt Q.
And I'm Holly.
And we're out.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.